All right, let's think through this one. We know that when we're working on a work problem, not just a word problem, but a work problem, that we use one out of the first person or work situation that's happening plus one out of the second situation is equal to one out of them working together or the total. So in this case, we have John and Rob who are going to do this job. So we have one out of something for, let's call this John and Rob, and then the total or together. Okay, so John can work 1 out of 13 is what we would write because it takes him 13 hours, and Rob, it takes 15. And the total would be what we're trying to figure out. It says how long would it take them? So that would be X. So that is the total. Okay, so we need to multiply this to kind of clean this up, right? This is our fraction equation based on the formula, I guess we could say. But that looks really confusing and complicated. And so essentially we just want to multiply by these three denominators, which seems more complicated than it is. It works out kind of nicely, actually. So, all right, think about what the denominators are. We're going to multiply everything. Let me erase this so I have some space over here. We're going to multiply everything by the 13. And we're going to multiply it by the 15, and we're going to multiply it by the X. And that's going to get rid of our denominators here. So let's come over here and let's do that. So 1/13 times 13 times 15 times X. Now, I'll think of that as over 1. Think of what you can cancel. What would divide to equal 1? Well, the 13s would cancel, right? You're left with 15X. So 1 over 13 is actually going to just be 15X. Now let's do the same thing for 1 out of 15. Multiplying it by 13 times 15 times X. Think about what cancels here, the 15s, right? We're left with 13X. So this is just 13X. All right, let's do the last one, 1 over X. And not equals. We're going to multiply that times 13 times 15 times X. And so we can see that the variables, the X's, would actually cancel, and we're left with 13 times 15. So let's see what that is. 13 times 15. Let me pull that over. Let me turn off my pen. Okay, 13 times 15. 195. Okay, so this is equal to 195. Now this is a much simpler problem, right? That's a lot more doable. So 15 and 13, that's 28X. And then the last thing is just to divide both sides by 28. And let's see what we get there. So 195 divided by 28. I know my calculator's covered up by all my writing. 6.964. It does say to round to the nearest hundredth. So I know that I should have gotten a decimal. So this is, X is about 6.96 hours. Now let's think about whether that makes sense. If it takes them 13 hours individually or 15 hours individually, if they work together, that should cut the time down. So it should be less than 13 for sure. And 6.96, that is our answer. All right, I hope that helps. See you next time.